Shekinah's surgery revealed. A 90-day fiancé story. Hello friends, welcome to my channel. I hope you are well. Please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. The Los Angeles sun spilled its golden light over the city as Shekinah Garner tried to keep her composure in front of the cameras. Her face, normally confident and polished, carried a weight she could no longer hide. Fans of 90-Day Fiancé, the other way, had watched her whirlwind romance with Sarper Guven play out on screen. Her moving to Istanbul, his overbearing rules, and the constant arguments that tested their love. But behind the glossy confessionals and glamorous Instagram photos, Shekinah had been carrying a secret. 4 months she had been dealing with health issues that she initially brushed off as stress. At first it was just fatigue, something she thought came from the jet lag of constant travel. Then came the sharp pains in her abdomen, the moments of dizziness, and the sudden weight fluctuations she couldn't explain. When production wrapped, she finally sought medical attention. The diagnosis was not life-threatening, but it required surgery. A small growth needed to be removed before it could create further complications. The doctor was calm, reassuring her it was routine, but for Shekinah, it was anything but routine. Her entire life had been curated for the cameras, a performance of beauty and control. To admit that something inside her body was fragile, broken, or flawed, it was terrifying. Still, she knew she couldn't hide it forever. When Shekinah finally told Sarper, his reaction was immediate and intense. "You should have told me sooner," he said, pacing across his Istanbul apartment, his voice carrying the edge of accusation. "I didn't want to worry you," Shekinah whispered. Sarper, always the perfectionist, prided himself on controlling every detail of his life and relationship. He measured Shekinah's meals, commented on her workouts, and often reminded her of his standards. But surgery? That was out of his control, and it shook him. "This is serious, Shecky," he said, using the nickname he had adopted for her. "You can't play with your health. If something happens to you..." His voice trailed off, softer now. "I can't lose you." For once, his vulnerability was visible, and Shekinah felt both comforted and suffocated. His love was real, but his intensity sometimes felt like a cage. The producers of 90-Day Fiancé had been pushing for updates from Shekinah and Sarper, hoping to capture more of their post-show drama. At first, Shekinah resisted sharing her health issues publicly. But as the date of her surgery drew closer, she realized transparency might help, not just her fans but herself. During a private confessional taping arranged at her Los Angeles home, she finally revealed it. "I've been keeping something from the cameras," she began, her voice trembling. "I need surgery. It's not cosmetic, it's medical. And honestly, I'm scared." The room went silent except for the hum of the equipment. The producer leaned forward. "Do you want to talk about what kind of surgery?" Shekinah nodded slowly. "It's to remove a growth. They told me it's not cancer, but when you hear words like that, you can't help but panic. I think about my daughter, about Sarper, about my future. And I don't want to pretend I'm okay when I'm not." The revelation hit fans like a tidal wave once the episode aired. Social media exploded with reactions. Some fans flooded Shekinah's Instagram with prayers and messages of support. Others speculated whether she was exaggerating the seriousness of the surgery for attention. A few accused TLC of exploiting her vulnerability for ratings. "Shekinah deserves privacy," one fan tweeted. "But I respect her for being honest. Not everything has to be picture perfect." Another wrote, "Shekinah's strong. If she can survive Sarper's rules, she can survive this surgery." Sarper, meanwhile, posted a gym selfie with a caption that read, "Strong mind, strong body, strong love. I will protect my Shetty always." The post drew mixed responses. Some praising his loyalty, others mocking him for making everything about himself. While Shekinah tried to stay calm in front of cameras, in private she was deeply shaken. Her daughter, Sophie, was her first thought. "I just kept picturing her without me," Shekinah admitted to a close friend. "Even though the doctors said it wasn't life-threatening, surgery is surgery. What if something went wrong?" Sophie, wise beyond her years, tried to reassure her mother. "Mom, you're going to be fine. You're strong. You always tell me to face my fears. Now you have to face yours." Her words hit Shekinah harder than anything the doctors had said. On the morning of the procedure, Shekinah woke before dawn. Sarper held her hand in the hospital waiting room, his usual bravado replaced with nervous silence. When the nurse came to wheel her into surgery, Sarper bent down and whispered, "You come back to me, Shecky. Promise me." "I promise," she whispered back. The surgery lasted only 2 hours. The growth was successfully removed, and the doctor reassured Sarper it had been straightforward. Still, those 2 hours felt like a lifetime to him. When Shekinah woke in recovery, groggy but alive, Sarper was at her side. He kissed her forehead and whispered, "You are my warrior." Recovery was slower than Shekinah expected. She had always prided herself on her appearance. Her perfect hair, her glowing skin, her slim figure. Now she was swollen, bruised, and sore. But as the days passed, she realized the experience had changed her perspective. "For so long I tried to control everything. My looks, my relationships, how people saw me," she reflected in another filmed confessional. "This surgery reminded me that life isn't always controllable. And maybe that's okay." Sarper surprisingly softened during her recovery. Instead of criticizing her eating habits or body, he cooked her soup and massaged her hands when the pain kept her awake. For once, he wasn't trying to sculpt her into perfection, he was simply there. As the story unfolded on screen, fans began to see Shekinah in a new light. "Shekinah showed a side of herself we never saw before," one Reddit commenter wrote. "She's not just about glamour. She's human, and she's been through something tough." Even critics admitted she had earned their respect. For Shekinah, the support was overwhelming. "I never expected so much love," she admitted. "It reminded me I don't have to be perfect to be worthy." By the time she was fully healed, Shekinah felt transformed. The surgery had been a wake-up call, not just about her health but about her life with Sarper. She told him, "I need us to live more authentically. No more rules about how I should look or act. If you love me, you love me as I am." Sarper looked at her for a long moment, then nodded. "I do love you as you are, Shecky. Maybe I was too controlling. I'll try to change." It wasn't a perfect resolution. Nothing with them ever was. But it was a start. Months later, Shekinah reflected on the journey in one final confessional. "I never thought surgery would change me so much," she said. "But it gave me perspective. I realized how fragile life is and how important it is to be real. I'm not just Shekinah the glamour girl. I'm Shekinah the mother, the survivor, the woman who faced her fears." And with that she smiled. A genuine, unguarded smile that fans had rarely seen.